I'm really glad this HATI-S wireless is a review sample, because this is actually one of those rare times where a review sample is still in development. And the nice part about this mouse is that even though G-Wolves did ship us this very early Bluetooth antenna or whatever it is, I believe it to be Bluetooth because well, we had some issues on stream. Roll the clip. Yo, why is this game lagging? What the flip? Why is my game lagging? Probably because I got a lot of Bluetooth radios going all at once. Let's try it with the antenna plugged back in. As soon as I plugged it back in, it stopped having that issue. Quick word from today's sponsor, CDKDeals.com. At CDK Deals, you can purchase genuine Windows keys for just $16 to get rid of that pesky Activate Windows notification on your desktop. Use code TMT20 to save even more at checkout, and purchases are made securely through PayPal as well. After you complete your purchase, it will automatically take you directly to your account where you can see your new Windows key, and I will just copy it there. To use the Windows key you just purchased, go down to the search bar and type in Activation Settings and click Change Product Key and enter the key you purchased. CDK Deals also offers other software and games as well for excellent deals, so be sure to check them out at the links in the description below. Thank you CDK Deals for sponsoring this video. Basically, I was having some issues where I had like quite a few Bluetooth devices all connected at once that I did not notice in my initial testing when I was using it without this little antenna here. So yeah, I was just using the small little USB portion that would be very similar to almost any other wireless mouse that's out right now. And then when I unplugged this antenna, or unscrewed it rather, I was having some issues. It was acting like the Viper 8K running at 8K, except it wasn't. Then after I screwed back in this antenna, everything went back to normal. But G-Wolves, the awesome company that G-Wolves is, has already responded to community feedback based on reviews before mine and just popular complaints across social media. So huge shout out to G-Wolves for responding early at that, letting the community know that this issue will be fixed and they're going to improve the wireless connection, and it is not going to have this pretty ugly two-piece dongle. So this video, I'm just going to consider the review of my HATI-S wireless as well as the HATI-S wired that I've had for probably the better part of the past 6 months or so now. The wired version of the HATI-S, basically I've been using that on and off here. I probably have about 35 to 40 hours total of use on that mouse. One, because it's a little bit too small for me, but I already know that this mouse is not made for me personally. But I'm also going to include some notable changes that I enjoy going from the HATI-S to the HATI-S wireless. But back to the main contender at hand, the HATI-S wireless. The only thing that I don't like, in addition to the Bluetooth antenna or the wireless receiver, whatever you want to call it, is the cable. So at the very end of the cable, it's very stiff. It's to basically avoid any cable drag on your desk directly in front of the mouse while it's charging. And I mean, to be honest, the battery life on it is pretty long, so you probably won't rarely ever have to charge this thing. I just don't like the stock cable that comes with it. So I highly recommend that you guys go to Agile Cables, formerly known as Paracord Mouse, and use code TMT and pick yourself up a new micro USB paracord charging cable, because it is hands down one of the best in the industry when it comes to paracords. Extremely flexible, and if you need to plug in while playing, or you want to save a little bit of money and go with the standard HATI-S, you should probably go ahead and pick up one of these cables from Agile Cables, link in the description below. And in comparison, as you can see right now, the cable from Agile Cables is much better than the cable that G-Wolves provides. Now, albeit in this one it is wireless, so you will rarely ever need it, and if you're responsible, you will just plug in your mouse when you're done using it during your session. But in case you aren't and you leave it on, or whatever the case is, I still haven't killed this mouse yet. I don't know how, but I still have it. I've been using it a lot over the past week, switching between this and my G Pro wireless, which is a little bit bigger, and also my main. The reason why I say that is because this mouse is basically a mini G Pro wireless that Logitech is probably not gonna make. So comparing the wireless variant of the HATI-S with two side skins on, it's about 60 grams compared to about 50 or 51 grams of the wired version of the HATI-S. So it is quite a bit heavier than the standard HATI-S, but it's still 60 grams, which is very light for a mouse. The one thing that I noticed is that it's a little bit back heavy. I can definitely feel that while you hold the mouse up like this, you can definitely feel it tilt to the back. But in practice, it doesn't really bother me that much. It's somewhat noticeable. I will say it's not perfectly balanced, but it is just fine, and I don't really have any issues with performance other than it being just a little bit small for my grip style. So the HATI-S wireless has now switched to the KLGM 8.0 switches. Oh my god, all the mouse enthusiasts around are raving about these KLGM 8.0s. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do like them quite a bit. I'm not the biggest critic when it comes to mouse clicks, like I care, but not that much. But I will say that KLGM 8.0s are pretty nice and are definitely top tier in the mouse switch game. Now the GM 8.0s are available in the HATI-S wired in the classic edition, so you just have to be careful which one you get. But if you get the one that has the holes on the sides of the mouse, then you may not get the KLGM 8.0s. The side button response as well also feels better than the original HATI-S in my opinion. I like the sound and tactile feeling of the side buttons, and it just feels like a nice quality of life improvement. In terms of the shape and the dimensions, it's obviously exactly the same as the HATI-S that we've taken a first look at before, and I still consider it to be one of the best shapes for a small mouse. Like if I was to recommend just one small mouse out of all of them, and we're not talking an ergo mouse or anything special or anything like that or anything modifiable like an M42, I would for sure recommend the HATI-S line. If you really need a lightweight mouse for whatever reason, like the absolute lightest, then I say maybe go with the wired variant. But if you want wireless, the HATI-S wireless for about $100, which I think is not necessarily really an unfair price, because Jewels, they have the absolute best unboxing experience of any mouse. I mean, seriously, like they give you the metal tin, they give you all these goodies like the mouse scales and the mouse grips and stuff like that too. And I mean, like Jewels, they just make you feel really good as a customer when you open up one of their products. So I have to give it to them. Their unboxing experience is absolutely top tier. I give Jewels an extra $10 to $15 just for that unboxing experience. I would say, you know, this mouse at $80 I think would be a steal, but at $100 it's not horrible. Like it's very reasonable, I think, for a mouse of this caliber. And again, the size, I kid you not, the size, the dimensions, everything that leads to this is like a smaller Burst Pro kinda and a smaller G Pro wireless. And to be honest, the Burst Pro is just a shorter version of the G Pro wireless, but this still lands at being a little bit lighter weight than the G Pro wireless, like by a gram or two. If you use it without the side skins, but I do prefer to use the side skins on this mouse because my hands are a little bit bigger and it makes the grips just a little bit more comfortable for me. Now the holes in the side of the mouse don't bother me at all when I'm using the mouse without the grips. Again, I just like to use the grips because it makes my grip more comfortable as a larger handed user. And the last thing that I want to talk about with this mouse is the sensor performance. I had no issues with the sensor performance other than like that issue that I had really with the Bluetooth antenna. But even though the sensor is based on a 3335, G-Wolves has spent a ton of time tuning the sensor so that it's not just your ordinary 3375. It's going to give you really long battery life, which I have been experiencing. I've only plugged in this mouse once, and again, it hasn't died on me, and and I didn't plug it in when I first got it, so I really don't know how long the battery life is. It's long as heck. Very accurate, very snappy, not really anything that I can tell apart from the other mice that I've been using recently. Everything has been working just fine. I have no complaints. Overall, if you're looking for a quality small mouse, and probably the mouse that would be in the S tier for me in terms of small mice to recommend, and this one just happens to be wireless and happens to have a wired variant that's literally exactly the same depending on what you get the classic edition with the KLGM 8.0s. The HATI-S is definitely a go for me. Personally, I'm not going to be using the HATI-S because it's a little bit too small, but if you're looking for a small mouse, you know that you're looking for a small mouse. And if you want the best of the best, and you want something that's going to be, you know, obviously better than a Viper Mini Ultimate, if that ever comes out, I think this could be it, because I think that this is probably going to be a little bit lighter than however much that Viper Mini Ultimate comes out ends up being. I'm guessing that that's going to be about 65 grams, which isn't the end of the world, but I think that this would still give me a more comfortable grip than a Viper Mini Ultimate, because if I use a small mouse, I always gravitate to my HATI-S first before I do a Viper Mini. And with that being said, that should tell you guys just enough. I mean, especially because the clicks and the side buttons of this mouse, they just feel so good. The mouse skins are the only mouse skins that I like in the business. I mean, I like these more than I like, what are the other ones that people like? The lizard grips. I don't really like lizard grips. I tried them on my X-M1R. I didn't like them. So yeah, these G-Wolf side grips, they're lit. But all right, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. I know it's a little bit long-winded for a HATI-S wireless Stardust edition pre-release review kind of video. If G-Wolves can fix that Bluetooth antenna, and I'm pretty confident that they will, if they do, maybe I'll make an update video, or maybe I'll make a YouTube Shorts. Should I try those out? Maybe I'll make a YouTube Shorts video talking about the updated version eventually when that comes out, probably within, I would say, a month or two. But if you guys are interested in pre-ordering the HATI-S, I'll have it linked in the description below from Etak Tech. Thank you guys as well for shooting out this mouse to me early for testing. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video.